So we continue to build the relationship. We continue to use our skills to demonstrate our active listening, and then kind of beginning to take it to the next level and moving our conversation and our dialogue forward by using and asking questions. So we'll get to that throughout these videos. But let's just get into demonstrating listening. So often when we're hearing a client, we want to reflect back to them. And when we use our skills around reflection, there's so many things that happen. First, a client really knows that they've been heard. Even if we don't always get it right, that we're trying and that we're mostly on target, they feel heard. It can validate their experience. Again, it's sharing what you heard as a practitioner, so it can be kind of a check-in. Maybe our perception of what they shared isn't quite on target, which again moves this conversation along and also demonstrates that you're actively listening. So it can work in both of those ways, and it continues to build that trust, right? And we know that trust and having that foundation in our helping relationship is a precursor to change. So there's two ways that we can kind of do this reflecting, right? So there's reflection of content, and that's restating your understanding of what the client said. It typically tends to be more about the content. They're sharing more maybe factual information. There's less emotion in there, likely, because if there's emotion, we really want to do that reflection of feeling. If you've ever, said something to someone and there's a seemingly to you anyway, an obvious emotion attached with it, either as you're talking about it or you're expressing emotions verbally, and they maybe only attend to the content. You went to the grocery store versus maybe all of the emotions that were involved, the frustration that you felt at the end of a work day and having to go through, and there was a long line and all of these things. Like, not attending to that emotion really can kind of have you feel less heard. And so reflecting content is restating your understanding of what the client said. You're saying that you went to the grocery store after work, right? Reflecting feelings, we really do need to use that empathy and join in with the client's feelings, maybe again stated or unstated, and then to communicate this. This can involve a little bit of risk because we're putting our lens on what we're hearing. But again, if we do this tentatively with a client, they can correct us and tell us. So, I hear that you're feeling, or you feel frustrated when you simply want to stop at the grocery store and it takes you 45 minutes, right? And kind of doing that. Maybe I have to go to the grocery store today. I don't know. Anyway, it's the example that's coming to mind. Some examples of lead-in responses. This is kind of small on this slide, but hopefully you can see it. I notice, I imagine, it sounds like, what I hear you saying is. And so this can just be some ways to kind of spark you and thinking about how you might want to lead into those reflections. So again, reflection of feeling allows for depth. It's exploratory. It can be very normalizing and validating to folks. It's supportive. It's also demonstrating and showing our empathy, which has people feel heard, has them trust us, has them want to go deeper with us. It also can be difficult, again, because we don't generally, even label our feelings. Sometimes when we're talking, we might say we're mad. Sometimes we'll name those, but some of them are harder to define, and some people are even unaware of maybe what they're feeling, and so they're using a lot of different words to get at that feeling. And so trying to understand that, trying to name it, making that interpretation. You can see this next piece on our part does make it more difficult, but it allows us to express, maybe our hunches, And again, if we can do it in a way and we built this relationship, folks can tell us that maybe we haven't hit the mark, but that allows us to go deeper still. The thing with feelings is, there is a range of intensity. We had that core feelings, handout from Brene Brown. We're trying to find the best approximation. We do need to have a rich vocabulary and then understand the nuances of emotion so that we can best match what the client's feeling to best demonstrate that we're there and we're listening. So everything from angry, right, to irate. Maybe you're just happy, maybe you're ecstatic, right? And really kind of trying to attend to the range of emotions. Just a couple of examples here on reflecting content. I just don't know what to do anymore. It seems like we've been hit with one thing, then another. We take one step forward, then it seems like two steps backwards. So you might say, it sounds like your family has experienced a lot of challenges recently, right? That might be a way that we reflect content. Restating what we feel like we've heard. There can be emotion in this as well, and you could attend to that. Another example of reflecting feelings, I haven't heard from any of them. If they're busy, they could at least text or email me. It sounds like you feel sad about that, and tuning into that part of what they're saying. So reflecting content, reflecting feeling, there's not always a right or wrong, but if there's definite, even if it's unsaid, unworded emotion, that can often be our default because we can kind of combine the two. We could have a bit of a longer statement and attend to both of those pieces and not just to one or the other. But that's a great way to demonstrate that we are actively listening to our clients.